I obviously don't wish that I had cancer. I wouldn't wish that on anybody. It was a horrible experience, and it continues to be a terrifying experience because I still don't know whether I'm going to be here in 5 years' time or not, and that's the truth.
Jenny Croston is facing an uncertain future. In May 2014, she was diagnosed with cervical cancer. Jenny had missed a series of smear tests, which meant that by the time she was diagnosed, her chances of survival were not very high. I went to visit Jenny, who is currently in remission and still waiting to find out if there are signs of cancer reoccurrence in her body.
When I was told I had cancer, I think I was in shock. The thought of having to tell my children that I wasn't going to be around for them and not seeing them grow up was, I can't put into words how terrifying and how scared and how sad that made me feel. And obviously you try not to let your children see that, and you try not to let your husband see how frightened you are. He's obviously frightened too. But I can remember thinking in my head, if my death didn't affect my boys in any way, I would die tomorrow. I would give up my life tomorrow for them not to know that they grew up without their mummy and their mum. So that was really hard.
Being a busy mum of two, naturally, Jenny put the health of her children before that of herself, however risked her life by not attending her smear test appointments.
I know what not having a smear can lead to, and I still didn't go. I think it was because I was busy. I was a working mum, so finding time for things that aren't pleasant isn't always easy. Coupled with the fact, I think, that nobody really likes smear tests. They're not anything that a woman enjoys having done. But I think primarily the main reason for me not attending my smear was the fact that I was busy, because I did rebook it and then I cancelled the rebooked smear and then just forgot about it, and then time moves on.
And Jenny is not alone. A third of women in Leeds avoid or put off their smear tests due to bad experiences, a lack of appointments and busyness. Nurse Sarah Lane wants to remind women the cervical cancer screenings that can take just 15 minutes could save their lives.
It's important for women to attend for regular cancer screening in order for us to pick up the changes that happen to the cells on the cervix at an earlier stage, before they've started actually having any symptoms. And a lot of women, I think, are frightened when they get these symptoms, so they'd rather ignore it and pretend it's not happening. But if they can come early, when they start getting symptoms, we can either rule out other causes such as infection, or if we're worried it may be due to cervical cancer, we can, very quickly refer them on to the hospital.
It's here at the St James's Institute of Oncology in the Leeds Cancer Centre where I met with surgeon Tim Broadhead. He told me about the difference in cervical cancer treatment depending on the stage at which it's diagnosed.
For precancerous change, that's a treatment that's carried out in the outpatient clinic under local anaesthetic, and I accept it's not a very pleasant thing to have done, but in general it's tolerated pretty well by most ladies. Treatment for cancer very much depends upon the stage of the cancer, but can involve much more radical treatment, potentially with having a hysterectomy and loss of fertility. So it's a whole different ball game, really.
No, there we are. Isn't that clever? Hi, wave.
I went back to go and visit Jenny just a few weeks later, and by then she had received some good news from the hospital.
So since we last spoke, which was about 6 weeks ago, I've had an appointment with my oncologist who did a full examination, and she concluded that I'm still in remission, which means there's no evidence of cancer in my body. And along with that, given my sort of historical response to treatment, she thinks my long-term prognosis is really good.
Answer me.
That's right. She said she thinks things should work out well for me, so it's going to be a really good Christmas. We're just off for a lovely family holiday in Australia. And yeah, everything's good now.
Zebra.
Very good. And
Parrot.
that's B for bird, but very good.
Like a parrot.
Yeah, what's that?
By missing smear tests, Jenny did put her life at risk, but is fortunate that she can now enjoy a healthy and happy future with her family.